In this YouTube video, what you're about to see is the symbolised form of men's depression, or anybody's depression for that fact, in symbolised form, using the symbols through symbols and sound play. In this, when we're depressed, we can feel like shit, and obviously you'll see a piece of fake dog poo down there, which represents the shit, because when we feel like shit, it's symbolised seeing it. And in the depressive figurine is the figurine that's curled over, rolled up in a fetal position, which can sometimes really manifest when we feel really down and dark like that. One of the things that we men can do is we tend to take this into our caves and retreat and shut down. We don't want to expose it. Underneath depression is generally either anger or sadness, and it's not uncommon for us men because of our toxic masculinity social conditioning, where we externalise the depression in moods or anger. But really deep down, there's a part of us that's inside the depression that's just not coping, and that's represented by the fawns, the part of us that just may not cope sometimes in life. The ho-hum of life is, it has a grind, and sometimes we just get to a point where we're just not going to cope and feel like bloody, oh, Jesus, here we go again. And so what this video is about is trying to depict the depression. How do we feel in the depression? What's really going on? Do we feel in our adult self, or do we feel fairly weak or vulnerable or sensitive and just not coping? How do we stop, take some time and just allow that space to just be there and really learn to meet it, learn to connect to it, allow the language of the body to express itself, to release it, to let it out, to let the sadness out, to let the not coping out, or ask for help. We all sometimes don't cope, and that's not easy to own. It's that none of us like to do that. But in a healthy dynamic, this is part of life. And hopefully by looking at the different symbols, it might break it up a little bit, that the depressive affect is, there's more inside our depressive affect. And retreating to the cave, yep, okay, we might need time out. But how do we then stop? How do we invite someone into that cave to meet us, to talk it out, to let the feeling out? Don't put it in a cognitive language way, put it into a felt sense, because let that feeling out, and that feeling can sometimes be expressed, and that's the release. And when we release that, it's known as healing, and to be able to heal these difficult, painful emotions is not always easy. It can be a form of transformation, it can be really painful, uncomfortable, but allow ourselves to be exposed in a safe and caring manner. I hope you gained something from this short 3-minute clip, and if you have any comments, please link them down below as the standard says.
In this
Cheers
video, I want to go to here is how I explain this to men, or try and introduce them to it. Is that if we look at this figurine here, if we have a close look at that, and sometimes I'll do a bit of psychodrama, and I'll actually lay down on the floor in the fetal position. Yes, we feel like shit, and that's how depression can manifest itself. It's just that the shame of it. I just don't want to show myself. I don't want to be exposed, and this is when men go to the cave. Now, when we're in that space, we're not coping at all. It's just simply not coping. And I use these smaller symbols to represent our vulnerability. And a lot of time, that because of men's social conditioning, they're so not aware, or we don't have the insight, and I've also lacked it, we just don't have the insight to what's really underneath our anger. And if they're hurt, if I've got hurt, when in the conversations they're hurt, it pissed me off, and there it is. There's the anger. I'm pissed off. I'm protecting that vulnerable hurt part, but what's underneath it is the hurt. And this hurt then easily can manifest into depression. And the unfortunate part is that men are socially conditioned that I can't express this. The natural neurobiology of our body is when we're in this space, we need to cry. We need to grieve, whatever it is. And in my experience in this work and in my own journey through the head-heart model, is that there's a part of me, or all of us, that's never going to cope. It just can't cope. We're vulnerable. We, as human beings, we have a vulnerability. And we need to protect it, but how men have protected it? They've protected it with that, with that, with that, with that. And when the male bravado, the alpha male ain't working, oh, geez, that's shocking. And we don't want to admit that we've got that little fawn, that beautiful figurine in there. It's just amazing to be able to help men connect to that. And we need to, how do we manage it differently? How do we recognise it? How do we communicate? It's got authentic needs. We've all got these authentic needs, and especially in relationships, women have got it, men have got it. And that vulnerability needs the connection. Women are needing it, and this is where they get really frustrated with men, that men just don't go there. They do not meet their partner's vulnerability at an energetic or a cellular level. It's incredible. That's the vulnerability and moving it into depression.
I hope you were able to take something away from this video. It's only a very short clip on symbolised form of depression. It's not a nice space to be in. We all go through it, and we all need help at that particular time. If you are experiencing it, you default to a depressive affect. Seek help by going to your GP and contact a professional, talk to a friend, own up. Just accept that it's a natural part of our life and our mental health. We've all got mental health. It's nothing to be ashamed of, and it's really important to let's start digging in to see what's deeply down. Please, if you like these videos, subscribe, hit the like down below, and share it. And any comments or any other videos you'd like to hear in symbolised form, please leave a comment below, and I look forward to hearing from you. And I hope that this has helped for you.